Ayun, okay. Good afternoon. Can you guys hear my screen? Can you hear my voice?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Okay na.
So, ilan tayo? Dalawa lang? Sige. So, we will discuss our module 6. This is in research and development, no? Okay. So, first discuss natin ano ba talaga yung meaning ng research and development. So, ano yung what is the meaning or ano yung purpose niya? Or bakit merong uh, R&D yung isang company, yung isang industry, bakit kailangan nila yung R&D? So we will discuss it one by one. No? So first, we have a definition. So what is R&D? So according to TWIS, no, R&D is the purposeful and systematic use of scientific knowledge to improve man's lot, even though some of its manifestations do not meet with universal approval. So according to Russell naman, so to develop new knowledge and apply scientific or engineering knowledge to connect the knowledge in one field to that in others. So yun yung according sa kanila yun yung definition ng R&D. But ano ba talaga ang meaning niyan? So when you say research, so it differs, no? So iba't ibang industry or company, iba yung definition nila. Di ba? So for example, in a university, merong research and development center. Di ba? So sa Philomar, meron dito. And let's say sa iba namang industry like sa technology company, let's say Nokia or let's say Apple, di ba? So meron din silang R&D, research and development. But the purpose of their research and development is depends on ano sila. Okay? Kung ano ang ilang paghimuon sa ilang company. Okay? So here we have the cycle of research and development. So we have here the scale up and study effectiveness. Then of course the synthesis or the synthesize and theorize or the theory and the synthesis. Then exploration, and hypothesize and clarify. Then it follow with the design and development, and of course the testing. Yeah. And then after that, it will proceed with implementation, then study of the efficacy and improvement based sa research. So after you research, then you develop. Yun yun. Then the cycle goes on and on. Okay? So this is the cycle of research and development. So in business, so R&D is critical for marketing. So meron silang tinatawag na market research, di ba? Kung sino yung mga target consumers nila, kung sino yung target na mga investors nila. Yan. So competition has made R&D important, of course, kasi hindi lang naman sila yung supplier, di ba? So let's say Samsung, mga mga smartphone, di ba? Samsung, Apple, di ba? Vivo, Oppo, yan. And consumers trends, needs, demands. Ayan. So ano ba yung trending ngayon? Ano yung trending na smartphone ngayon? Ano yung kailangan ng consumer? Di ba? So ano yung demand nila? Yan. So in business, R&D no guarantees. So walang guaranteed, no? That higher spending on R&D will lead to high profits. So meaning this is just purely investment with high risk. Diba? So walang guarantee na meron kang kita dito, high profit. a greater market share. Ikaw ba is maging sikat ka ba na brand? Yan. O more creativity. Yan. Then better products and services. So some products or some services in business may fail or it might be success. So there's no guarantee in terms of research and development. So investigative activities that a business makes a deliberate decision to conduct. Of course, intention is generally strategic, so they focus primarily on the future growth of the business. And of course, aims. So it aims to make a discovery that can either lead to the new development. So it might be a new products, procedures, or just an improvement of existing products or procedures. Yan. So in pharmaceuticals naman, so magkaiba yung definition nila. Diba? So in terms of research, so basic experiment research lang yung tawag nila sa kanilang research. So example, so these are the identification of possible chemical compounds. So this is based on theoretical mechanisms and of course partner siya ng mga universities. So this is in terms of pharmaceuticals, no? And when it comes to development, so these are the exploitation of discoveries. So just like they discovered new drug that uh, can cure AIDS or HIV, yan. So this is mainly in private sector and it consists of proof of concept and of course safety testing, especially in drugs. So for example, di ba ang vaccine, COVID-19 vaccine. So may mga research yan. So ilan yung mga willing na mag-participate. Yan. Because without this research and this development, so wala tayong madidiscover, wala tayong magagawa na bagong vaccine, di ba? To cure that certain disease. And of course, delivery mechanism. So, paano ba ina-administer yung vaccine? Ayan. So, because of that development, so dra na nila makita or dra na nila mabalaan kung paano gid bala ma-administer inang vaccine. So, through oral ba? Through capsule ba yan? Or base through IV? Or through ano, di ba? Okay. So, bakit important yung research and development? So, we have here some reasons, no? So, it is crucial to survival. Diba? So, we don't know what the future brings us with the use of this technology. It might pwede siguro maging advantage sa aton or pwede man maging disadvantage sa aton. Diba? So, because of fast changing environment, so nasa 5th industrial revolution na tayo. So, we are dealing with robots na, machine learning, AI, and continuous technology change. Then we have competition. So wala naman technology industry na walang competition. So kapag may startup, talagang meron yang kakompetensya. Kung walang kompetensya, bibilhin ng kakompetensya niya or bibilhin ng bagong ng malaking kumpanya. Just like what Facebook did to Instagram. So inacquire ni Facebook yung Instagram. And inacquire din nila yung WeChat kasi kompetensya ng Messenger. Then we have the changing consumer preferences. Ayan. So in terms of consumer preferences, so ano yung bago ngayon? Ano na yung sikat? Ano na yung kinawiwilihan ng mga consumer? In terms of social media, di ba? Mas sikat na yung TikTok. So fundamental to marketing, of course. So advantage naman niya when it comes sa market. So should have understanding what market needs. So you should do your MR or what we call the market research. And in case of technology, so ano ba talaga yung pwede nating ibenta? Okay? So selling what is possible to make efficient production processes. So ano yung pwede nating ibenta na makapagpagaan ng buhay? Ayan. So we have here classifications of research. So we have basic research, applied research, development, technical service, and so on. So first we have the basic research. Ano ba yung basic research dito? So in general in nature, so this applies to a broad range of uses and technologies. So basically we have universities and large corporations that do this basic research. And of course, this applies with the new scientific discoveries, no? Just like antibiotics, vaccines, and so on. And when it comes to applied research, so ito na yung ina-apply na natin yung existing principles. Okay? So we apply existing principles to find new solutions, application of science. So here, moving basic research towards new products. So for example, we have Dyson vacuum cleaner. Or ano ba yung bagong product na nag-evolve. Yan. So basically, this comes from the basic research then. So next, we have the development. And so after you research, after you applied, then here comes the development. So this focuses on products and commercializing these several prototypes that may be developed. So meron tayong mga prototypes na, di ba? Kung sa inyo nga research, let's say sa inyong thesis, no, mag 50th year ka mo, or mag 4th year pala, ayan, so you have your research. So meron kayong prototyping before nyo siya pwede ma-market or ma-commercialize. Ayan. So you have your design improvements, if you have your modifications or features na pwedeng i-add. Then of course, trials, ayan, trials, modifications, and improvements. So dyan yan, sa development stage. Then we have the technical service. So eto na yung parang technical support when it comes to your products. So service support systems around the existing products and processes. So it includes cost and performance improvements. So modifications to specifications to improve costs. So para ma-minimize yung cost, so ano yung pwedeng ma-modify sa ating ginamit na material? So instead of alloy, can we use steel? Can we use aluminum? Ayan, and so on. Then of course, marketing considerations. So ano yung pwede nating i-consider? So based sa survey, based sa research natin, ano yung mas gusto ng consumer? Ano yung mas gusto ng target audience natin? Ayan. So i-consider natin 'yan. Okay, so that is included in technical service. So sino yung mga key players dito? So of course, you have your companies, yung mga technology industry, then government, of course. Ito yung nagso-support din, di ba? And then universities. Ayan. Then we have the future-oriented. So siguro ito yung mga startup companies natin. And then yung long-term activities. So in industry, so research and development talks more about application of old science and new science. So this is to produce new products. So meaning they just recycle their nire-recycle lang nila yung previously research material nila sa bago para makapag-create ng bagong products. Ayan. So in industry, research and development is continuous process. So meaning it is very difficult to define start and the end times. So meaning hindi mo malalaman dito in terms of sa industry, hindi mo malalaman kung kailan ba ikaw hihinto sa pagre-research, sa pagde-develop. Kasi we know that every year technology advances. Every decade new technology emerges. Di ba? So, ngayon meron na tayong 5G Wi-Fi, di ba? 5G na Wi-Fi 5, version 5. Tapos, pinapakilala na ngayon yung Wi-Fi 6. And hindi nyo alam, na-develop na pala yung Wi-Fi 7. Di ba? So siguro hindi nyo pa na encounter yung Wi-Fi 5 or Wi-Fi 6. Pero meron na na-develop na Wi-Fi 7. So imagine that. So in industry, so research and development measures the outcomes in terms of new products. So sa mga bagong products siya. And large proportion of R&D in industry is technology based. Okay, so more on technology based talaga sa industry. Siguro yung ano dito, yung iba is commercial based siya. Just like mga consumer products like cereals, shampoo, di ba? Mga mga consumer based products talaga like uh, toothpaste, like soft drinks, di ba? Ayan. So the diversity of technology means no one firm can gain expertise in all areas. So meaning there is greater reliance on alliances. Okay, so walang isang industry na kaya niya lahat, di ba? So it's still dependent on other areas. Just like the technology in 5G, di ba? So may mga future tayo like AI. So dalawang area 'yan. Kung i-apply mo siya sa autonomous vehicle, so you will be dependent in 5G technology and the AI technology. Diba? So may greater reliances talaga sa mga alliances na yan. So traditional research and development, so this is about gaining competitive advantage. Ayan. So technical developments in industries such as chemical, electronics, auto, pharmaceuticals. So this was responsible for economic growth of nations. So sa pharmaceuticals, sino yung Sino yung may pinakamalaking investment in terms of research and development? So makikita natin later on sa mga industry. So I think Pfizer is one, di ba? And when it comes to auto manufacturing naman, so siguro si Ford or si Toyota ba? So we don't know. And in terms of chemical, electronics, and so on. So these are responsible for economic growth of nations. So research and development seems as a stage process. So moving from research to engineering to manufacture. Diba? So dyan lang naman sila nagsimula sa research talaga. And then, dinevelop nila with the use of engineering tools. Then, sa kanila manufacture for commercial use. So large investments in R&D such as the space race, which resulted in many products and fueled economic growth. So meron ng yung kay Elon Musk, Starlink, di ba? Tapos yung pa nila, yung gusto nilang i-conquer na yung in-explore nila yung Mars, di ba? For future use, di ba? Ayan. So in terms of university naman, so ano ba yung pinagkaiba niya sa industry research? So sa universities kasi, so they just provide the fundamental and basic research. So mainly lang talaga, notes lang talaga or mga research material lang, which tends to be more general. Okay? So universities concentrate on pursuit of knowledge. Ayan. So meaning more on research materials lang talaga. And industry research focuses more on product development. So ito yung pinagkaiba niya. So product development na, new technologies, understanding of technologies in existing products, ayan. Then technologies in manufacturing. And of course, yung application niya, so application of knowledge for commercial purpose or commercial use na. Yan yung pinagkaiba ng research in terms of university versus the industry. Ayan. So very general yung university research. Kasi pag let's say naka-develop ka ng ano, kasi meron naman talaga sa isa sa mga university na kapag invent sila, let's say uh, with the use of sa thesis nila, di ba? Sa thesis nila or baka sa inyo rin in the future. So you still need some investor or investment para ma-ano niyo siya, para ma-commercial niyo siya yung na-develop niyo na product or na services. Okay. So we have here some business strategy. So this is parallel support infrastructure required to ensure business success. And this need to match the R&D to market realities and opportunities. So kasama pa rin dito yung research and development. Then, study and forecast state of the operating environment. Ayan. So ano yung trending ngayon? Ayan. Doon ka magkakandak ng study. So ifo-forecast mo kung ano yung after 5 years, ito pa rin ba yung trending? Ayan. So, di nyo alam, no? Or baka alam nyo na. So, binili na ni Elon Musk yung Twitter. Di ba? So, he has a large share sa Twitter na social media platform. So, hindi ko alam kung ano yung purpose niya. So, maybe you can search for that if you are interested with that, no? Then, capacity to adjust to changes. So, example, climate change. So, especially ngayon, di ba? So, yung summer natin, meron ng ulan. So, dapat can be adapted. So, adaptable siya dapat sa mga changes. Then, of course, hindi ito maiiwasan, yung risk analysis and capability analysis. So, dapat alam mo rin yung mga risk mo. And yung capability mo mismo. So, di ba sa research natin meron tayong scope and limitations. Yan. So, dito yan sa capability analysis. And of course, R&D should not be independent of business strategy. So, dapat meron siyang kasama. So, which is part of the business support infrastructure, which aims to provide support of existing businesses to keep them competitive and supporting efficiencies. So also aims to drive new businesses and opportunities. So just like the 3M's discovery of temporary adhesive, so which led to creation of post-it notes. Diba? Yung sticky note, yung post-it, diba? Yung 3M's yun. Yung 3M's na industry or na company, sila yung naka-discover ng temporary adhesive. So with that discovery na na create nila yung post-it or yung sticky note natin. Yan. Then broaden and deepen technological capability for long-term benefits. So dapat may future proof siya. Future proof yung tawag natin. So long-term benefits. Pero siguro sa mga technology ngayon, kasi every 10 years merong bago Diba? So, let's say sa network ng telco, diba? From first G, 2G, 3G, 4G, 5G. Ngayon, pinag-aaralan na nila yung 6G or 6th generation. Wala pa nga tayo sa kalahati siguro sa 5G. Or, I'm not sure, no? Kung kayo, meron na kayong 5G na compatible na cellphone. Diba? So we have also the extended product life cycle. So ito 'yon. So in terms of in terms of time. Ayan. So kung titingnan natin dito, ayan, ito yung mga industry na may pinakamalaking gastos. Okay? So we have pharmaceuticals, that is 15%. Then followed by computers. So computers kasama na dito yung mobile phones nyo, yung smartphones nyo. So it is considered as computers. So 12%. Then it followed by the chemicals, then electrical and electronics, and so on. So this is based on the research man. Okay, so across industries. So ito yung mga industries. Ayan. Ayan. So, eto, yung mga organizations in terms of expenditures. So, we have Ford, Pfizer, ayan. So, ilan ba yung profit nila? So, 5% of sales, 15% of sales, Siemens, Johnson& and Johnson, Microsoft, and so on. Ayan. But I will share to you this is 2017 na data. Yung mga tech companies, no, that leads in research and development spending. So, eto. Ayan. So, ito yung mga company or yung mga technology companies that leads in research and development spending. So, makikita nyo, we have Amazon. So, sila yung may pinakamalaking gasto in terms of research and development. Diba? Then, followed by Alphabet. So, this is subsidiary of Google. No? So, kay Google to yung Alphabet. Then, we have Intel, Microsoft, Apple, then Johnson& and Johnson's, General Motors. So ito yung mga naka-red, ito yung tech companies. Yung naka lightly yung parang anong color ba to? Yung light red or siguro pink. So ito yung mga hindi itong mga tech companies, no, some industries lang. Ayan. Ayan. Okay. So going back. So we have classifications of new product development. So of course, this is dependent on technological activities and marketing activities. So we have industrial products, pharmaceutical industry, electronic industries. So we have white goods and domestic appliance industries. So we have the food and drink industries, yung mga commercial products natin or consumer products natin. So in order to do that, okay, so in order for us to do that, we have to strategic. So you have to implement strategic management in terms of research and technology. So here, we should question ourselves. So what are we trying to do in this business? Ano ba talaga yung kailangan natin ditong gawin? So how can research and development contribute? So paano ba natin mapapakinabangan yung research and development? So what are the costs, benefits, and risk? Then, kaya ba natin to i-afford? Di ba? And what will support or what will we support in R&D? And so on. So kailangan natin mag-conduct ng strategic management in terms of research and technology. Yan. So here, the strategic role of the research and development. So first, the R&D for existing businesses. So this will ensure the businesses are able to compete and to exploit all opportunities available to it. Then, drive new businesses. So here, business opportunities will continually arise, and the research and development will ensure that this can be exploited. Then exploratory research. So this helps to develop understanding of technology that the business is using or may use. So it might be in the future use. Then we have the technology portfolio. So ano yung nandito sa technology portfolio in terms of research and development? So the R&D strategic planning means developing a technology portfolio. So it includes 4. We have the core technologies, which is central to all or most of the company's products, and complementary technologies, which are additional technologies sa existing product. And we have the peripheral technologies whose application contributes to the business. And of course, the emerging technologies. So this is yung future-proof nyo na, or this is the long-term significance of your technology or products. So we have different types of technology. So ito yun. Ito yung kanina, di ba? So we have the core. So this is central to most, if not all, products of company. So example siguro is photographic technologies, no, which are core to photocopying industry, di ba? So example na natin yung yung photographic technology. Then, ano yung complementary technology niya? So of course, this is microprocessor technology and paper handling technology and photocopying. So it may be lifting, turning, or stapling, and so on. So yun yung complementary na services or product na naka-align sa photographic technology. And then we have the peripheral. So let's say computer software wherein yung photocopying industry may use to add features and benefits para sa products nila like security, emailing, or siguro fax machines and so on. And then emerging. So in photocopying, more use of telecommunications as standard features like PDF or electronic document na. Yan. So what to spend in research and development? Ano yung kailangan nating i-gastusin dito? So interfirm comparison. So should have a fixed relationship to turnover and a fixed relationship to profits. So balance dapat yan. Kung merong bawas, dapat meron ding dagdag. Okay? But you should not focus on profits lang talaga. Pero yan naman talaga yung purpose ng research and development sa mga tech industry para makapag-gain ng profit. Di ba? And then, reference to previous levels of expenditures. So, dito kinukuha na rin nila yung mga previous research material nila para makapagtipid. Okay? So, refers nila sa previous levels of expenditures. So, based sa previous research nila, so ilan yung gastos nila. And of course, because they have that research material, so hindi na nila kailangan mag-research pa ng bago. Ayan. Then costing of an agreed program. And internal customer-contractor relationship. Ayan. So meron silang mga specific contractors for that program. So key points. So R&D can be managed and is managed. So this is in terms of technology. So it should be for today, tomorrow, and the future. Ayan. So R&D, operational activities, and project evaluations. So ito yung mga key points natin. So it should be managed and is managed technology for today, tomorrow, and future. Then yung operational activities natin and project evaluations. So evaluation, this is in terms of research din, no? Field study mo. Siguro free trial kung sa mga software pa, di ba? May mga free trial or evaluation, yan, or 30-day trial. Yan. So, ito yung mga examples natin. So, example ng isang research and development. So, what it is? So, research and development aims to create new technology or information that can improve the effectiveness of products or make the production of products more efficient. So, how it works? So, let's say company XYZ is a pharmaceutical company that produces pain-relieving medication. So, XYZ has several competitors. So, the efficient production of medication is essential for it to maintain or expand its share in the market. Kasi may ano siya, may kakompetensya siya, di ba? So in order to continue to produce effective medications, so XYZ needs to allocate much of its resources, both financial and human. So dapat nakaano siya, di ba? Naka-balance siya. So not only for the expenses but also for the profit. Okay, so both financial and human. So to the development of more effective pain relieving medication. So use of these resources is called research and development. So it can benefit the company as well as the consumer. So research and development is more important to some companies than to others. Ito yung example nila, no? So a computer software company would spend much more on R&D than a retail sales company would. So technology company survives by developing more effective technology than their competitors. So example is Apple. Diba? So it has many employees that work in R&D because Apple competes in its market by first developing and then releasing devices that are better and more appealing than ones created by competitors. So ano yung kakompetensya ng Apple, di ba? Yung mga Android phones. Yun lang naman, di ba? Kasi yung Apple, may may sariling operating system na ginagamit, iOS. And then compare mo siya sa Android na open source, yun yung kakompetensya din nila in terms of software. So research and development especially affects investors in technology or pharmaceutical companies since revenue is generated by selling products. Kaya mahal yung Apple compared sa Android phone. That depends on being more useful and more advanced than similar products sold by competitors. So development of revolutionary technology can drastically increase the value of investments in that particular company. Therefore, investments need to pay attention to research and development news. So doon dapat sila mag-focus. Hindi sila mag-focus dun sa perang ininvest nila. Di ba? So because the discovery and development of better technology begins with having a successful research and development department. So eto, example, yung Ford na Figo. Figo yung yung parang uh, yung company is Ford pero yung brand ng kotse is yung parang model ng kotse is Figo. Di ba? So this is in in India, no? So the case outlines the research and development behind the Ford Figo. So it's a small car. So the case unfolds the steps taken by Ford to identify the target customer. So it decides the feature of Ford Figo to meet the needs of target customers. So may market research sila. So Ford conducted market research to understand Indian customer for its new product Figo. So however, the challenge before Ford was how to launch and market Figo. Kasi I'm not sure no kung ito yung bansa na talagang isa lang yung monopolized, parang dito rin sa atin in terms of telco, monopolized ng uh, PLDT before nung wala pang yung Globe. Yeah. So dito, nakamonopolize ata yung isang uh, car manufacturer sa India. Yan. So ito yung parang naging challenge ng Ford. So paano sila magiging highly competitive sa bansa ng India. So yung issues that need to be understood. So it should be understand issues and challenges in launching a new product. So syempre magmo-market research ka. So titingnan mo kung pasado ba yung bagong product mo sa area na yan. So it studied the multi-pronged introduction strategy of Figo, understand various issues and challenges in target marketing, then analyze nila yung based sa research. No? So analyze Figo's marketing strategies and explore ways in which the marketing should be evolved to keep the brand relevant to the target audience. So kailangan ba nilang bawasan yung presyo or depende? Diba? So, based sa research nila, so, namamahalan ba yung mga Indian doon? Or may gusto ba silang feature na wala sa kakompetensyang sasakyan? Yan. So, R&D department functions. So, of course, we have different functions that involves in a research and development department. So, first, we have the development of new products. So, ito yung mga pioneer. Okay, so ito yung pioneer department. So the primary function of the R&D department is to develop new products, which are essential if the company is to generate profits in the medium and long term. So all products have a finite commercial life, and this is particularly true in the microelectronics sector, where new technological developments are occurring continuously. So meron tayong tinatawag na life cycle na mga new products. So for example, Windows 7 or Windows XP. So end of life support na. Wala na silang sinusuportahan dyan. Walang technical support, wala. Diba? Kasi meron ng Windows 10 or Windows 11 or Windows 12 na. Diba? In the future. Then we have maintenance of existing products. So ito yung mga customer support. Ayan. Diba? So yung mga technical support natin. So it handles the maintenance of existing products. So kung paano ba nila susuportahan yung consumer nila na bumili ng existing products. So existing products must be maintained to ensure that they can be produced to specification. For example, a component required for an existing product may become obsolete. So ito na yung parang bumili ka ng bumili ka ng stereo tapos cassette pa. So bumili ka ng doon VHS tapos wala na palang VHS na tape na available. Diba? So obsolete na. So when this happens, R&D are expected to find an alternative quickly so that production of the product will not be delayed. So from cassette tape to VHS, nagiging CD, then VCD, and of course ngayon, digital na, Netflix na. Diba? Or nasa YouTube na. Ayan. So a serious example of a product maintenance problem is when a key component is discontinued, such as microprocessor, which may result in a complete software rewrite and electronic hardware redesign. So, ano yung mga example dito? Siguro mga sa cellphone siguro, no? Diba? So, from keypad to touch screen. Diba? Yung in-introduce lang ni nung nag-introduce sila ng iPhone, diba? Doon nagsimula yung touch screen kay Steve Jobs, diba? Then enhancement of existing products. So dito na yung ito na yung department na pwedeng mag-enhance, mag-modify ng existing products or mag-add ng features. So the commercial life of a product may be increased by enhancing it in some way, giving it extra features, improving its performance, changing its appearance, or making it cheaper to produce, and so on. So many companies enhance the products, diba? So it can keep their product ahead of the competition and spreads the large capital outlay associated with developing products over a long period. Then interfacing with production. So while a new product is being developed, so development staff and production staff interact to ensure that the product is manufacturable. So kumbaga, ito yung kung sa research pa natin, kung sa thesis natin, feasible siya. Meaning, kaya mo siyang gawin. Diba? Yun yun. So the intention is to ensure low-cost production and short production times while maintaining quality standards. So the R&D production interface is vital. Not only does it ensures low production costs, but by reducing production times, it should be possible to increase output and therefore income on a monthly basis. So nagiging efficient yung process nila dito in terms of production. So technical aspects of regulatory compliance. Ayan, ito na yung sa legal na. Okay? So sa mga legal issues, like sa mga customer complaints, return and refunds, and so on. So it is legal requirement that products used in the community must comply with the relevant directives. So meron tayong FCC, NTC, ayan. So the R&D department is primarily responsible for ensuring that this is the case, but senior management are liable to fines and or prison sentences for serious cases of non-compliance. So dapat complied sila with the government laws in terms of the use of their products. Then electromagnetic compatibility, or what we call the EMC. So it is a major consideration when designing new electronically based products. So usually yung FCC talaga yung parang nagre-regulate. Ayan. But sa Pilipinas, we have the NTC. Ayan. Then quality. So ito yung mga quality assurance, ayan, di ba? So a product quality plan is produced for new products as they are developed. So principally by the research and development and the quality department. However, if the product is being developed for an external customer, So the customer's quality department must also be heavily involved. So hindi pwedeng isa lang. So kasama yung customer. So the quality plan may allow the customer to return a whole batch of products as a result of small number of samples failing the customer's quality tests. Ayan. So ito yung mga, let's say, nag-wholesale siya. Nag-wholesale siya ng isang product. Tapos yung isang product is may sira o isang part ng product is may sira. So ibabalik niya yung lahat. Kasi baka kasama siya sa batch production na lahat pala is may defective doon. So in summary, typical R&D functions that we have described are ito. So the development of new products, usually the primary function of R&D. Then the product maintenance, probably the most important secondary function of R&D. So short-term income is important. And product enhancement. So this helps the company products ahead of the competition and extends the life of products. Then the regulatory compliance. So it's a legal requirement. So products sold in the European community must carry the CE mark. Yan. So the quality R&D interface. So quality is a major issue and R&D are heavily involved in ensuring new products attain the required levels of quality. So meaning quality over quantity. Yan. So aanin mo yung marami kung hindi naman high quality yung product mo. So the R&D structure we have outlined is typical of an SME or small medium enterprise. Job descriptions help to define the structure of a department effectively. So kasama dyan yung job description. Yan. So best practice and innovation. Ano yung mga best practices natin dito? So first, we need to understand customer. Kasi without those clients, without those customers, so sino yung bibili ng products natin? Diba? So culture of innovation. So this is in terms of the vision, leadership, and support. So commercial imperatives to innovate and flexibility. Then open innovation. So this is collaboration model and partnerships. So should have a partnership with some other companies, no? Kaya nga yung pag-develop nila ng vaccine, 'di ba? So nag-gather sila ng isang so kinumpile nila yung mga research nila, 'di ba? And then they shared some information to others. So hindi lang yung Sinovac, so hindi lang yung AstraZeneca, hindi lang yung ano pa yung ibang Moderna, ibang vaccines na develop. Then funding. So willingness to invest in R&D, balance current and future needs. So execution, so should commit resources, continuous improvement, benchmark, goals, strategy. So kasama dito dapat yung market research pa rin. And then creativity. So skills, knowledge base, learn, and dapat you should adapt change. Ayan. So you should adapt change. Then of course, yung last but not the least is the intellectual property. So this is to secure and to protect your property. Kaya kapag may na-invent ka na parang feeling mo ito yung pioneer na product, so you should apply for intellectual property rights para hindi makopy, hindi makopya. Diba? So innovation in consumer good firms. So R&D is often associated with high-tech firms that are on the cutting edge of new technology. But many established consumer goods companies spend large sums of money on improving old products. Parang ayaw nila yung bago. Diba? Just like soft drink. Yung Coke, Coke pa rin mula noon. Diba? Yung Pepsi, Pepsi pa rin mula noon. So for example, Gillette spends quite a bit on R&D each year in ongoing attempts to design a more effective shaver. Pero yun pa rin yung purpose niya. Shave pa rin. So on average, most companies spend only a small percentage of their revenue on R&D. So usually under 5%. However, in pharmaceuticals, software and semiconductor companies, they tend to spend quite a bit more. Diba? Kaya nga yung nakita natin doon, yung pharmaceutical companies talaga yung pinakamataas. Yeah. Pero ewan ko lang, no? Baka yung mga companies din, like siguro yung na gumagawa ng mga consumer products, sila rin yung partner nila yung pharmaceutical companies, no? So, gumagawa sila ng pagkain para para magka-issue yung tao. Tapos, pag nagka-issue na yung tao, bibili ng gamot. So, di ba? So, I'm not sure if merong ganyan na company. Baka meron, di ba? Yung partner nila yung isang pharma company na sila na yung gumagawa ng gamot para sa ganyang sakit. In which yung sakit na yon is na-develop dahil kumain siya ng product na ganyan. Di ba? So, I'm not sure. Baka meron din ganyan. So, how to manage and monitor in terms of research and development. So, it requires special skills. Diba? So, you need to learn kailangan mo magtiyaga. Diba? So, you need to learn some skills to do that, to manage that. And it covers issues ranging from technical matters to management techniques and overall business environment. So, meaning dapat multi-skilled person kagidya. Yeah. And management of R&D projects requires attention to the following. So, performance, timing, cost, and personnel. So, ito yung kailangan mong i-consider para ma-manage mo yung R&D projects mo. So, corporate R&D naman. So, corporate research and development is the principal corporate asset for long-term technological competitiveness. So, siguro ito yung mga kumpanya ng maraming pera. Yung parang nag-i-invest na sila talaga sa research and development. So, corporate research activities can be classified by the purpose of research to support current businesses. Ayan. So, tama nga. Ito yung mga nag-i-invest. To provide new business ventures. So, sa mga startup companies. And to explore possible new technologies. So, they partnered some existing existing industry na makapag-develop ng bagong technology. So, yung objective naman nila is to extend product life cycle through improvements in production processes. Then, lowering production cost, increasing market share, profit margins, and iba pa, etc. Yan. So, yung process naman nila, so the R&D process, so projects tends to go through the following stages. So, ito yun. Basic research and invention, then applied research and functional prototype, then engineering prototype and testing, then production prototype and pilot production, then production testing and modifications, then initial production and sales. So ito yung stages talaga, di ba? From research going to product na. Ayan. So stages A, B, and C are usually called research, while stages D to F are called development. So ito yung research and development process natin. Ayan. So hanggang prototype na yung research. Then pagdating sa development, yun na yung in-implement mo na yung prototype to products for commercial. So technology generation. So technology generation involves monitoring and evaluation of R&D projects, funding of R&D, training and development of resource personnel, interactions at all levels, management policies and support, availability of support structures and incentives at government level, then timely collection and interpretation of technical and other information. Ayan. So sa technology development naman, we have the in-house R&D, which managed and headed by a well-qualified and experienced chief or head directly reporting to the top management. So, ito yung parang separate to siya. So, under siya ng CEO or COO. Ayan. So, this unit has to have a very close contact or interaction with other departments within the company. So, sangay na yung ibang department. So, strength and facilities in the in-house R&D department would depend upon the technology policy of the company. So, cooperative naman, so this is a group of companies in particular industrial sector which promotes an R&D center as a society or tinatawag nating non-profit, no? non-profit organization or non-profit making company. So here, expenses are met from the contributions of the participating companies. So based sila sa donations. So okay, or it might be a grant from government. So cooperative R&D is more suitable for projects which are not of secretive nature. So dito sa atin siguro DOST, no? Ayan, DOST. Then R&D collaboration. So mamaya may papakita ko sa inyo na video. So a company may collaborate with another company in areas of common interest. And then collaborative R&D efforts are becoming common in developed countries, so mainly due to high costs and shorter technology life cycles. And the firm may also collaborate with public or private funded R&D organizations on a case-to-case basis where R&D results are shared mutually and so are the expenses. So dito nga sa atin meron tayong tinatawag na PPP, no, or public-private partnership. Ayan. And research societies naman. So ano naman to? So these are large corporations or industrial houses that may set up independent research societies. So this is suitable for broad interests of the promoting companies in line with national interests. And government extends several concessions for such societies and provides several tax concessions and fiscal incentives. So maybe exempted sila sa tax, ayan, and so on. So example siguro mga cancer drugs, AIDS vaccines, bird flu vaccines, and so on then. So I'm not sure if kasama dito yung COVID-19 vaccines. Diba? Pero FDA kasi nagre-regulate ng mga drugs eh, di ba? And then research companies. So meron din separate, di ba? So ito yung mga external research companies. Ayan. So large corporations of technopreneurs may promote research companies specifically for conducting research and development. So the development costs and reasonable profits are recovered from the sale and transfer of technologies. So this is very common in US and other developed countries but is yet to gain recognition in developing countries. So I'm not sure if dito sa Philippines meron ng ganito, but of course with the help of the government, no, like especially the DOST. And then inputs and R&D organizations. So traditional inputs like money, materials, manpower, facilities, energy, and management. And then in terms of intelligence-based inputs naman, so these are the science, knowledge, skills, information, and existing technologies. And so before we end our discussion in this module, I would like to share to you the two videos. Wait, ano ba ito? Ayan. So, isi-share ko lang itong dalawang collaborative research and development, no? So, ayan. So, so by the way, may questions, clarifications? Okay, so I will share the ayan. So, I'll just play the video. Are you guys still there?
So the traditional automakers are embracing the evolution of the car and the digital transformation and all the elements we covered so far. And that is the way to go. Obviously, the traditional automakers have a huge portfolio of customers, and they are coming with a strong position in terms of loyalty to the brands and performance. But the way to go is investing, embracing the evolution, and they're working a lot with us. We work in Europe, but globally. We work with the OEMs, we work with the tier ones, But what we notice is that more and more the automakers, the OEMs, are working directly with us because they want to make sure that the innovation in the hardware and software platform is capturing and collecting all the requirements, feature set that they are planning. So in a way, is shortening the link to the technology provider is a sign of investing in innovation, participating with us in designing roadmap for the hardware, feature sets, product stack, integration on the software. So it's a very positive sign. We welcome have a strong presence in Europe, and we work with all the major brands and automakers, and we are very pleased to see the positive and in a way innovative DNA by all the major brands in working for evolving digital chassis, skateboard, hardware, software, feature set, car to cloud, and that will pay back. That will pay back. From my perspective, is the way to go.
Yeah, I think I'd agree with all of that entirely. I mean, there's a sort of, as we sort of said earlier, there is this fundamental transition, and it's when you go to electric, and it's not that you make the same car, but you've got a battery instead of a gas tank. It's you rip the spine out of the car. And so if you're not a completely new company starting from a blank piece of canvas, then you have all sorts of questions around how you migrate your portfolio, how you migrate your manufacturing processes, your production lines, your platforms and your existing designs, how you produce both the ICE engine vehicles and the electric vehicles in parallel, on how do you manage your production lines. And I think people from outside sort of sometimes see that that they don't necessarily move as quickly as a completely new company and think, oh, they don't get it, they don't understand, they'll never do it, and not quite realize what you're seeing. What you're seeing here is massive scale manufacturing industries transitioning to a new technology. Now, there are a lot of challenges in doing that, but I think an awful lot of the core competencies are common. It's just a different manufacturing process. And so what you see is huge investment in electric, very obviously, at every kind of part of the stack, but also huge investment in autonomy, and huge investment in what the software platform would look like on top of all of that.
Yeah, and another one. So this is now the ito na yung ginawa nila. So this is the research nila, no, autonomous driving using the Qualcomm AI.
I think entering more in the possible plan, definitely for autonomous driving, we need to continue developing in parallel the infrastructure. So the vehicle to vehicle, vehicle to cloud, vehicle to network communication, and the AI in the car. AI in the car, we covered already. That is where we are working all together. Layer 3 is layer 2 plus, layer 3 is level 2 plus, level 3 is where we are at the moment. I think level 4, level 5, it will take more time. I think it's important to maintain a standardization to make sure that we will have one technology, one platform good for all the markets that are, I think also a regulatory element is part of this development overall. So we need to march all together, technology provider, car manufacturers, infrastructure, regulator.
Yeah, I agree with all of that. I mean, there is an old line in AI research that AI is anything that doesn't work yet. Because as soon as it works, people say, oh, that's not AI, that's just a database. That's not AI, that's just image recognition, that's just voice recognition, that's just pattern analysis. And so, when you do your expenses, you don't say, oh, I'm using some database now. It's just expenses. When you go to the account, you use your credit card, you don't say, oh, I'm using some database now, or I'm using some AI now. It's just a credit card. And I think most of this will disappear, and you won't inside products, and you won't be buying an AI product. You'll be buying a feature that can do something or solve some problem.
Ayan. So, that's it. So, you have guys questions? Verifications? So, ito yung isa sa mga research and development, no? Na collaborative research na ginawa ng Qualcomm.
I'm thrilled to welcome.
Okay, so ginawa nila ng meron silang network. 'Di ba? We know Qualcomm is a microprocessor na industry, technology. And then they adopt the AI, AI technology, and of course the 5G technology. And okay, so it's a wrap. May questions, verifications with regards to our discussion?
Okay naman, sir.
Okay, so that's it. So if you have some questions, just send na lang sa ating group chat sa Messenger, no? Okay, so no activities for this module. Okay. So thank you for joining today, and we'll just send the recorded session for this afternoon discussion. Bye bye.
Goodbye, sir. Thank you.
Sir.